Hey, boys and girls, it's Miss Porter again, and we are going to solve another problem using representations, the equation, and the strip diagram. We're going to look at a multiple step problem. So here we go. Mark drank a total of 10 gallons in 3 days. Day one, he drank 2 9/10 gallons of water. Day two, he drank 4 7/100 gallons of water. How many gallons of water did he drink on day three? So if I go back and read the problem again, I have a total of 10 gallons. And I know he did that in 3 days. So it tells me day one, 2 9/10. It tells me day two, 4 7/100. And I'm looking for day three. So I'm going to write the equation that represents this problem. So my equation would be a total of 10 minus 2 9/10 on day one minus 4 7/100 on day two is going to tell me D, what he drank on day three. So to represent this equation and this problem using a strip diagram, I'm going to start by making my rectangle. So I know I have a total of 10 gallons. My total can go on the top or the bottom, doesn't really matter. I'm going to put mine at the top. 10 gallons, that's my total. Well, I know day one, he drank 2 9/10. I'm going to put day one. I know on day two, he drank 4 7/100. I'm going to put day two. And I need to figure out how much he drank on day three. So to solve my problem, I'm going to have to set it up with my decimal. So we're paying close attention to our decimal place value, and I'm going to have to subtract. So I only want to subtract two numbers at a time because I don't want to get confused and make any errors. So I'm going to start with 10 minus 2 9/10. So I'm going to set it up. 10, I know right after my whole number, I'm adding my decimal. I have my decimal, 2 9/10, 2 right in front of my decimal, 9 right behind it. I'm going to fill in my zero. When I subtract, can't subtract here. I don't have anything to borrow from here, so I'm going to go to my 1. That becomes a 0. Now I have 10. Well, I need to regroup again because I still need something in my tenths place. So that 10 now becomes a 9. That 0 is now a 10. 10 minus 9 gives me 1. Keep my decimal, very important. 9 minus 2 gives me 7. 0 minus 0 equals 0. So now I have 7 1/10 minus 4 7/100. So I'm going to keep my decimal. 4, behind my decimal, I have 71. I'm going to fill in my 0 so I have the same place values. I'm going to subtract again. Well, I can't subtract here. I can borrow from here, so that becomes a 0. Now I have 10. 10 minus 1 gives me 9. If I look here, I cannot subtract, so I'm going to regroup again. That 7 becomes a 6. That 0 is now a 10. 10 minus 7 gives me 3. Keep my decimal. 6 minus 4 gives me 2. So day 3 is going to be 239. I'm sorry, not 200. 2 and 3,900. So then I'm going to write my solution, which is my complete sentence answer. So Mark drank 2 and 3,900 gallons on day 3. Here we have it. So I do want to show you one other thing. Another way that we can solve a problem when we have subtraction, we have a strip diagram that looks like this. Another way that we can solve it, which is probably a way that a lot of you already use anyway, we can add these two numbers, and then subtract from my total. So I'm going to solve that right over here on the board. I'm going to scoot this over so that you still see my strip diagram. I'm going to come right over here. So to solve a problem with my strip diagram set up like this, I can start with my total, subtract and subtract, or I can add what I know and subtract from my total. So I can say 2 and 9/10 plus 4 and 71/100. I'm going to fill in my 0. When I add that, I have 0 plus 1 gives me 1. 9 plus 7 gives me 16. I'm going to regroup, keep my decimal. 4 plus 2 plus 1 gives me 7. So day 1 and day 2 combined, I have 7 and 61/100. So to find day 3, I'm going to take my total of the 10. I'm going to go ahead and add my decimal minus 7 and 61/100. I'm going to fill in both zeros behind my 10. And I'm going to subtract, and that way you'll be able to see how you can do either way and get the same answer. I'm going to have to go all the way to my 10's place value to regroup. Becomes a 0, becomes a 10. Well, I need to regroup again. That's going to become a 9. Now I have 10. I still need something here, so I'm going to regroup one more time. Now I'm ready to subtract. 10 minus 1 gives me 9. 9 minus 6 gives me 3. Keep my decimal. 9 minus 7 gives me 2. So you can see how I can either add and subtract or double subtract, and I still get the same amount of 2 and 39/100. A little bit of problem solving with strip diagrams and equations. I hope that helped y'all out. Good luck.